Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to lesson 11 in the Fiqh series. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Allahumma faqihna fi deen. Allah bless us with the understanding of our deen, our religion, our way of life. So in the previous episode we looked at those were 6 acts that necessitate, if we were to perform any of those 6 acts, necessitate also a purificatory bath that raises our state out of the al-hadath al-akbar, from the major ritual state of impurity. And today we're going to look at the fard acts, the obligatory acts that we need to perform in order to then be in a state of be purified again. So that's being completing a ghusl. So the acts, the author continues to say, Faslun, chapter وفرائض الغسل ثلاثة أشياء. And the fara'id of ghusl, the plural of fard is fara'id, the obligatory or wajib acts of the ghusl, the purificatory bath, are 3. An-niyya, so to differentiate from habit and worship, we have the intention. At the beginning of our acts, we have our intention, so we need to have an intention that we're performing ghusl. وَإِزَالَةُ النَّجَاسَةِ, and the removal of impurity. إِن كَانَتْ عَلَى بَدَنِهِ, if it is upon the body of a person, then we remove that first. وَإِيصَالُ الْمَاءِ إِلَى جَمِيعِ الشَّعْرِ وَالْبَشَرَةِ, and for the water that we're going to wash ourselves with, purify ourselves with, that it reaches all parts of our skin, all parts of our hair on our body. And then it goes on, وَسُنَنُهُ, and it's sunnah acts. So that's what we're going to look at next time. But the first acts, the fara'id, obligatory acts of the ghusl, are 3. So the first thing is the niyyah, the intention. And for the intention, I have some keywords around as well as for the other acts. So for niyyah, intention, we say nawaitu raf al-hadath al-akbar, for raising our state out of that major ritual impurity. Al-hadath al-asghar being for wudu, for the minor ritual state of impurity, but here we say nawaitu raf al-hadath al-akbar, or we can say nawaitu ghusl raf al-janaba, specifically for being in a state of janaba, impure state, or nawaitu raf nawaitu ghusl raf al-nifas, if in postnatal bleeding. So we're making specific acts, but to say nawaitu fard ghusl, doing the fard ghusl, you're intending that, it suffices that you have now made the intention. So the intention has to be parallel with the act. So as soon as we start the act of washing our first part of the body, we have our intention. And the body for ghusl is all one limb, because we have to wash the whole body. Is that one limb, as opposed to in wudu we had 4 limbs. We had the face, we had the arms, we had the head and the feet. So there's 4 limbs to wash for that, for the fard acts of wudu. But for the body is for the ghusl is just 1 act, and whichever part we wash. So let's say we start washing our head, we haven't made the intention. We're doing a ghusl, but we haven't made the intention to at the head part. But suddenly at the chest part, we start washing the chest, we make an intention. Then in today's situation, we use a shower head, and we use the water will come constantly anyway, so you need to make the intention further down here. As soon as the water starts sitting in our head, that's kind of now considered that, yeah, you don't have to repeat it. But let's say you started washing yourself from the chest downwards when you made the intention, and you had washed your head part, but you didn't make the intention, you'd have to repeat that just to wash that again, because you didn't make intention and you're not putting anything back on it. But if the water was to come constantly, like it does for showers, then whatever part you make intention of, whatever part you're washing, as long as the water is coming and your whole body is being washed, then there's no repeating of that part. So we did parallel. I've written top to say we normally also we start from the top of the body and we're going down. So at the top, the intention is when we bring the intention. Submerged. So if we submerge ourselves in water, we jump in a river. The river is purifying, is it not? It certainly is. So the river, if you jump in the water and we have the intention in the water, we submerge totally, that we're doing wudu. Also, that instant we are now in a state of we've we've come out of that major ritual impurity state, and now we have ghusl, we've performed ghusl, we're purified now. So if you're submerged, instantly, you have ghusl. And I've got two intentions. So the intention for ghusl is wajib. It's an obligatory intention that we have. However, there are times when we have sunnah intentions for ghusl. So performing ghusl, a purificatory bath on a Friday, is a sunnah act. So if you want to do, let's say we're in a state of janaba, or someone just finished their menses and now they've come into a purifying, they want to purify themselves back into a purified state. So whatever scenario we are in, we don't know the 6 things that, well, at least 5, because the person who is passed away, it's first that we perform the ghusl for them, but they won't have to pray Jummah, for example, so this is not going to count for them. But for the other 5 scenarios, we have to make a wajib intention that we're going to purify, to do ghusl. But because it's Friday now, it's gone past Fajr, and now it's Friday, we need to have a Friday sunnah bath, so we can have 2 intentions: a farz ghusl, to remove ourselves from that major ritual impurity, as well as having a sunnah intention because it's Jummah. Other times it's like for tawaf, performing the going around the Kaaba, is a sunnah to have to do ghusl, to throw the stones, and Hajj time at the pillars, to enter Makkah, to also put on the ihram. So these are the times when you do ghusl and as a sunnah intention. But yes, we can combine intentions, and we get rewarded accordingly. And yeah, so that's why I said repeat as well. I said repeat because if you started intention somewhere else in the body and then we never wash that part back, but the intention started somewhere else, we would have to repeat that part that we didn't wash without the intention. Next part is izalat al-najasa, so it's the removal of impurity. So when we're in a state of janaba, if sperm had exited, so that part, the private parts of the area, we wash first to get that, to remove all that. But if there's impurity on our body, some dry blood, or many things like here, urine, stool, blood droppings, these are common impurities along with other things. If we have that on our body, and we wash that off first, we remove the impurity before we wash ourselves to make ourselves in a purified state. So I have in essence and in ruling, so there's 2 kind of things. In ruling is that, well, in essence is that thing is physically on you and you need to remove it, and you need to use water until you physically remove it. So if there's a dry blood and the first wash doesn't go, you wash it again, it gets smaller and smaller, and then finally it goes. So however many times it needs for you to remove that impurity, you do that many times. In ruling is, let's say a child urinating on you, a little baby urinating on you, so it's, you can't see it, you can't really see it, so you kind of you remove it, and it's overlooked, like if you haven't completely removed it, but you've done your best to remove it in that one wash. Whereas if it's something specific, in essence, if the thing is there, that core is there, you need to remove that completely. So Al-Rafi'i, Imam Al-Rafi'i, Imam An-Nawawi, have mercy on them both, they both differed, and we take Imam Nawawi's position, the stronger position, where as we pour water over it, that constant water that's coming on and then it removes it, that's sufficient. So in one kind of jug, let's just say, or shower head, we use a shower head, the first kind of took it away, the impurity, and then it continued to now purify it in a sense. So that one continuous wash is what Imam Nawawi says, that's fine. Whereas Imam Al-Rafi'i says no, you need to have 2 separate washes. You first remove the impurity, and then you have another wash with another jug poured to now clean that part, meaning you remove the impurity now to make that part purified. So they differ on that, but we take Imam Nawawi's position, which is the stronger position in the Shafi'i madhab, that one wash with a constant running of water, that second kind of wave of water that keeps coming, and the third and the fourth, and that's kind of is done the job. And the final thing is isal al-ma, so it has to go, the water has to reach every part of our skin, every part of our hair. So here, whether we have light hair or whether we have thick hair, and whether it's on the head or whether it's on the body, every single one, all has to be washed. Whether there's one hair that one little strand that is not washed, that's going to be overlooked. But you need to make sure we have made water reach every single place. Ears as well, so that's the inner part of the ear and the outer. You look at somebody's ear, what can you see? All that needs to be washed. Nails, very important. Water needs to reach under the nails as well. So then that would be making you in a state of having completed your ghusl. Skin, people, they can be having layers of skin, so some layer will overlap another, possibly every area of the body really needs to be washed. Water has to reach everywhere. Foreskin, so those who are new to Islam, who have not performed circumcision, and so forth, then that foreskin areas, dirt gathers there on the private part, so that needs to be thoroughly washed. That area needs to be washed, as well as heels, as the Prophet ﷺ has said, that your heels, woe to those who do not wash their heels properly. So that's the place where the skin splits at that place, and people don't wash that part properly. So make sure water reaches all those parts where the skin has split, and so we need to make sure water reaches every single part of the skin and hair. So these are the things that require that we need to do in order to be in a state of major, to be out of a major state of ritual impurity, and now we are in a purified state. We can say the sunnah next. So we are able to perform with the ghusl. Can we pray in salah? No, we need to perform wudu, and that comes like in the sunnah acts, that we perform wudu within the ghusl, or if someone wants to perform it outside, but it's sunnah to be doing it in the ghusl as well. That's a sunnah ghusl then, and that's going to be looked at next time. And finally, so mentioning these impurities, any impurity comes on you, it does not mean you have to perform ghusl. Just to make that clear, the things that we said that you now have to perform ghusl are those 6 things that necessitate for us to perform ghusl. So if someone passes away, we need to perform ghusl on that person, and again, that's like removing the impurities. Makes sense, because whatever comes out from the stomach, as we rub it the sunnah way, whatever comes out, all that has to be removed, has to be washed away, so that then that would give you the complete ghusl. وصلى الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم.